This is Jamey from Games, and today I'm going to share my favorite mechanism in the game Unfathomable, which I played for the first time with a total of 5 players just the other day. I have played the game that is based on Battlestar Galactica, I would say 2 or 3 times, but it's been a while since I played it. So we played this game Unfathomable, and we had a lot of fun with it. This is a game of a semi-cooperative game with a trader or traders. So there's some treachery involved, but there is also a lot of cooperation where you were trying to make sure that 4 dials, 4 different things like food and sanity, that none of those dials reach 0. So you're trying to maintain these 4 dials while trying to get to Boston, I believe. I believe the ship is trying to get to Boston. So that's the goal. Move the ship to Boston, get it there. There's a little track to monitor that. Before I get to my favorite mechanism, there are a few little things that I want to mention that I really, really like. One is you have this big board. You can't quite see it here, but yeah, you can see it there. There's this big board, the ship board. And instead of having, I would say, I almost don't want to say artificial movement mechanisms, but lots of games would have a ship like this with a bunch of different rooms, and each character could like move 2 spaces. But instead, they treat the ship more like an action, like a worker placement or action selection mechanism. And whenever you want to choose an action or a room on the ship, you just put your character there. That's one of the actions you can take. Move to any room on the ship. I think that's really clever. Adds a lot of flexibility. You think spatially a little bit less, but the rooms and the orientation still matters for how the monsters move around the ship. So spatial elements still matter, but not for the characters themselves. I thought that was a nice addition. My favorite thing about Battlestar Galactica, and also something I really, really like about Unfathomable, is how the skill check system works. You encounter a number of skill checks while you're going through this game, and when you do, each player can contribute cards to that skill check. So a skill check might say, in fact, I have an example here. So, and I'll talk about this more in an example. This one says, open the gate. And it says that you need, I can't get my finger in the right place, but you need some books, you need eyeballs, and you need heads. I believe this is charisma, insight, and wisdom. I always forget what that one is. But you need those things. Those are the only cards that will apply to the skill check. At the beginning of each of your turns, you get some cards based on your characters from different decks like this. And there are other ways to get cards. But for each skill check, it says you need these types of cards only, and they must add up to at least 18. And any cards that end up in the skill check that are not these icons actually subtract from the total instead. And so each player goes around and face down, puts some cards in a pile, and then from a chaos deck, 2 other cards are added to that pile. Cards that might help or hurt the challenge. You don't know, and they're random, so you don't know. So they kind of prevent you from knowing exactly what other characters put into this pile. And you don't know that anyway because characters are putting cards into the pile face down. You shuffle those cards up and then you reveal them to see if you got up to 18 with these icons. I just love this system. I love this system. I love how you don't really know what each player is doing, but you can kind of guess. You might know that if a player puts a big handful of cards in the pile, you're just trying to guess what they're doing. Are they trying to help? Are they trying to hurt? And you can see the end results. And the Chaos deck adds a really nice twist to that, where you kind of end up suspecting everyone a little bit that they are a traitor, that they are putting in cards that shouldn't be in there, because the Chaos deck is always adding a little bit of the unknown to that pile. And the Chaos deck might even add cards that you want. It might add these cards to the pile. It might end up helping you and might end up obfuscating a little bit who the actual traitor is or traitors. So I liked how that system works a lot. Normally, I think that would be my favorite mechanism in the game. That's kind of the centerpiece mechanism of Battlestar Galactica and Unfathomable. But I wanted to choose a different mechanism that I don't remember from Battlestar Galactica. It might be in there, but I don't recall it. And it also has to do with these skill checks. And basically, I like that you have the option on many of these skill tests to even try them. So this one says, it's open the gate. That's the challenge. And a certain player, it gives a certain player the responsibility to choose. Whether it might be the current player that says Keeper of the Tome, it might get the captain the option. I think that's a clever little twist. It gives you the choice to embark upon the skill test, and it tells you what happens if you pass. It tells you what happens if you fail. Transparent there. I think it's good that you know what's going to happen if you pass or fail. But it also, this is the thing, gives you the option, says it's too risky. Some of these skill tests give the option to not try at all, to not try the skill test. And there's a downside to it that says lose 1 sanity, but you can just say, it's not risk. It's not risk it's not worth the possibility of failing. If we fail, we lose 1 sanity and 1 soul, damage the ship 2 times. So it's a big thing. that a bad thing that happens, definitely worse than if you determine not to even try, but it's counteracted by the good thing that happens if you pass. So it gives an extra level of choice here that I think is really great for skill tests or even event cards in games, where if you have an event card in a game, you can choose to like try the thing and either succeed or fail, but also have the choice to just walk away and not do it. And maybe there's a minor consequence there, but that choice to not do something adds a lot of openness, a lot of freedom to a game, and I really like that choice in this game. You can let me know in the comments below if this is also in Battlestar Galactica. I don't remember it, but yeah, I just think this is a really well-designed skill check system, skill test system through all the way through, from the cards that you're putting in, from the choice to simply not participate if you don't want to. Those are my favorite mechanisms in Unfathomable. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.